Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith, and today we are going to discuss just what the cluck is going on and how dangerous is this bird flu. There have been reports of the avian bird flu strain HPAI, highly pathogenic avian influenza H5N1 from Florida to Maine. I cannot find an article directly saying that chicken manufacturing has been stopped in Georgia. From what I have found, Georgia has suspended the sale of live chickens at trade shows, flea markets, and other outlets. It called on growers to implement biosecurity practices to protect their flocks, such as keeping birds inside, limiting their exposure to outdoor water sources, and maintaining sanitation. They are doing this in an effort to ensure the virus does not spread into their flocks. There have been no cases of avian flu discovered in Georgia, but this was done out of caution because of the nearby cases in the commercial turkeys in Indiana, commercial broiler chickens in Kentucky, and in backyard mixed species of non-poultry birds in Virginia. The poultry producers were instructed to move all of their birds with outdoor access indoors, as well as monitor them for signs of sickness. According to an article from the New York Times dated February 24th, a highly contagious and deadly form of avian influenza has been barreling across the eastern half of the United States in recent weeks, killing both wild birds and farmed poultry, and raising fears that an unchecked outbreak could prove calamitous for an industry that was devastated by a similar virus 7 years ago. Since early January, when it began killing chickens in northeast Canada, the virus has been identified in migratory waterfowl from Florida to Maine and has infected backyard chickens in Virginia and New York and sickened thousands of turkeys in Kentucky and Indiana, prompting mass cullings and import bans. On Wednesday, federal officials announced that the virus, a so-called highly pathogenic avian influenza, had been found in Delaware commercial chicken farm on Delmarva Peninsula, home to one of the country's largest concentrations of poultry farms. Experts suspect wild birds returning from winter feeding grounds are spreading the virus, most likely through contaminated droppings. With the peak springtime migration still weeks away, many fear the worst is yet to come. It's very concerning given how quickly this thing is accelerating, said Henry Nyman, a biochemist in Pittsburgh who studies the genetic evolution of birds and has been tracking the outbreak spread across the country. I think we could see historic levels of infections. Federal officials have been urging poultry growers to report sick or dying birds and to tighten their farms' biosecurity measures, which includes preventing contact between wild birds and domestic animals. It's important to note that avian influenza is not considered to be a risk to public health, and it's not a food safety risk, Mike Stepien, a spokesman for the Department of Agriculture's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, said in an email. Although the danger to humans is low, scientists are keeping a close eye on the virus. The Eurasian H5N1, which is closely related to an Asian strain that has infected hundreds of people since 2003, mostly those who had worked with infected poultry. That virus does not spread efficiently among humans, but it is extremely deadly, with a fatality rate of 60%, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The strain currently spreading across the United States has not jumped to humans, but virologists and epidemiologists say the mounting infections among birds is worrisome because it increases the possibility that the virus could mutate in ways that make it more infectious to people. At the moment, turkey farmers, especially those in Indiana and Kentucky, are most worried. Over the past 2 weeks, several farms in those states have been shuttered after officials discovered the virus among birds that spend their entire lives crammed into massive sheds. Farmers say they have been stunned by how efficiently the virus kills, with animals dying hours after the initial infection. Nearly all the 9 billion chickens raised and slaughtered in the United States each year can trace their lineage to a handful of breeds that have been manipulated to favor fast growth and plump breasts. The birds are also exceptionally vulnerable to outbreaks of disease. They all have the same immune system, or lack of an immune system, so once a virus gets inside a barn, it's going to spread like wildfire, said Dr. Hansen, the public health veterinarian. Are they setting us up for the next pandemic? It is a possibility at this point. I would like to mention, however, that the CDC's own website states that no human cases of HPAI-A virus infection have been detected or reported in the United States. Only 4 human infections with LPAIA H7N2 viruses resulting in mild to moderate illnesses have ever been identified in the United States. CDC considers the current risk to the U.S. public's health from HPAI HPAIA, H5N1 virus outbreaks in wild birds or poultry in the United States to be low. During past HPAIA, H5N1 virus outbreaks that have occurred in poultry globally, human infections were rare. Globally, since 2003, 19 countries have reported rare, sporadic human infections with HPAIA, H5N1 viruses to the World Health Organization. It is safe to eat properly handled and cooked poultry in the United States. The proper handling and cooking of poultry and eggs to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit kills bacteria and viruses, including HPAI viruses. However, consumers are reminded to handle raw poultry hygienically and cook all poultry and poultry products, including eggs, thoroughly before eating. While there is no evidence that any human cases of avian influenza A virus infection have ever been acquired by eating properly cooked poultry products, consumption of uncooked poultry and poultry products like blood was suspected as a source of highly pathogenic avian influenza A virus infection in a small number of cases in Southeast Asia. So the short answer is it's still safe to eat properly handled, cooked poultry, virus-laden or not. Are they then culling all of these birds because they are not concerned it may jump to humans? Or is there a far more sinister agenda at play to remove the meat consumption from our diets? While we cannot be for sure what is at play here, we can be prepared. At minimum, the chicken and turkey production could be drastically reduced, resulting in shortages and massive price hikes. Whatever chicken you can afford to stock up on now, whether that be some you stash away in your freezer, can yourself, or purchase canned, I would suggest making that a priority. I would also freeze some eggs, which can be kept for up to a year in a gallon-sized freezer Ziploc bag, and purchasing some freeze-dried egg powder. If you can have chickens on your property, all the better. I think this is something we should continue to keep an eye on. At this stage, it's fair to say that anything can change at a moment's notice, and we should be prepared for that. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless.